Voting now underway. People living in the Chapel Hill ISD in Titus County are deciding on a $9 million school bond. The district is located about 70 miles to the north of Smith County. KLTV 7's Christine Guevara has more tonight on the proposed projects that the school district says will meet the needs of both current and future students.
The bond proposal includes 4 projects that address capacity issues in aging facilities at the district.
If the bond were to pass, it would be set up for the future, meeting our immediate needs. It would actually allow us a little flexibility in our budget to address some of these smaller projects.
The elementary gym is the original structure to the district from the 1950s, but with a deteriorating foundation, it would be completely rebuilt. Another project would be adding 6 early childhood classrooms into that new gym structure. Currently, 2 pre-K classrooms are housed in this portable building, while the other classes are in the gym. The plan is to remove the portable, putting all of them under one roof,
allowing our pre-K teachers to be together in one place, which would facilitate collaboration among those teachers.
The third project is expanding the Ag Mechanics department space, adding a classroom and new equipment. Students say a big struggle is time and transition, as part of their class is held in a different building.
Going over to the other building and going back to the other building after class over here, it takes probably 30 minutes. If we had the expansion, it would all be here, and we wouldn't have to walk through rain or anything like that.
The last project would be building a dedicated visitor entrance at the junior high campus here with a secure vestibule. Junior high visitors currently have to go through the high school entrance, which is on the other side of campus. This new entrance would minimize that issue.
And with that, the tax impact on your homeowners will be 9.9 cents per $100 valuation.
Christine Guevara, KLTV 7 News.
And early voting continues through the 3rd of November. Election Day is November 7th.